February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. Warriors, we got to talk about it because when 1 in 3 teens are involved in a relationship, that they are verbally or physically abused, that's what we know about. Could you imagine? What is going on here? The best resource I can tell you, it's like one-stop shopping. If you just want to find out, learn more, and this is for parents, grandparents, kids, you might want to give this to your teen. This resource is loveisrespect.org. It will show you and tell you, what is a relationship when you're a teen supposed to look like? What is acceptable and not acceptable? What kind of atmosphere are you in when you're dating? We have girls as young as 12. And the Warriors, we spend a lot of time with healthcare providers, whether that be emergency room attendants, nurses, doctors, also healthcare providers across the country. And we're always asking, because I want information from boots on the ground, people who really do the work. I want to get accurate information because I call these, Warriors focus groups because I don't, unless I wrote it, I don't really trust what I read. I definitely don't trust what I hear out of our mainstream media, even online, right? Boots on the ground. That's where I get all of my great, what is really happening out there? What's the landscape out there? So you know that many girls, beginning at the ages of 11 and 12 upwards, are showing up in emergency rooms with marks all over their necks, strangulation. Now, because there's I can't even believe, Warriors, I never thought I'd be talking about porn. I didn't set out to talk about porn. Kids in porn? Definitely not. But you know what? I have to step up and share with you what I know about porn. This porn is poisoning our children's, our teens, our youth's minds. They're becoming addicted. There is easy access to porn. And it's not even their faults. The algorithms, again, big tech. Children are the currency. Children are the future buyers of everything. It is so easily accessible to them. I always use this as an example, but your child could be looking up a piece of fruit. I don't know, a cherry, I use that example, and they'll get the definition. Then they might click on another link. You know how this works, Warriors. And all of a sudden, they're in a porn site, right? Now, because it's so easily accessible, so many children are seeing it. According to a recent report out of the UK, children as young as 9 are seeing hardcore porn, a large percentage of them. I believe it's 60%. 60%. So even if that's wrong, it's more than half the kids. If it was one kid, it's wrong. And that's their first experience or knowledge. First of all, the images. This is hard. When we say hardcore, let's be honest, Warriors. It's things that are violent. So it's not just your normal sex, whatever that may be for you, but they're seeing images of beatings and harming people and people crying and screaming. And we know our porn sites, the biggest categories are, girls in braids, cheerleaders screaming, and we mean in pain. So this is what the kids are seeing. So again, it's more of that normalization of the sexualization, that this is normal. That, for instance, as an example, a 15-year-old boy going out with a 14-year-old girl, he sees this. So he thinks, okay, the kids aren't even kissing and holding hands anymore. They're going right for these sexual situations. And he thinks it's normal that he hurts the girl. He makes the girl cry. So we're seeing these marks all over the necks, which are coming from strangulation, because that's the biggest thing right now. I think the media and everybody should be talking about this. I think we should be talking about it in schools, because by not talking about, people think you don't talk about it, it goes away. That world is gone. That's the world maybe like we grew up in. I don't know who's watching, what ages you are, but right now everything is out there. It's in our faces. It's in the kids' faces. People are becoming habituated. I can't say this enough. They're becoming numb to all of this horror. As a matter of fact, today on my WVOX radio program, I had a wonderful friend, Heidi Olson. And Heidi is an RN, an MN, anything to do with nursing. She's a sexual assault nurse examiner. SANE, it's called a SANE nurse, SANE, and deals in pediatrics. So the hospital in Kansas City where she was working for many years, um, she noticed there was no protocol for somebody who came in, uh, usually children, that had the signs of trafficking. Uh, and I've heard this over and over and over again. And it's patch them up and send them out because it's a full circle. Think of it again as the wheel with the spokes. I like to make that analogy. You've got law enforcement, you've got social services, you've got to have safe housing, you have to have a medical protocol, right? And a lot of these young people that show up, the girl will say, "Oh, well, that's my brother," or "That's my boyfriend." That's a big one, you know, and it's not. But if that girl, child, boy won't admit to anything wrong, it is very difficult to do anything further. So you have a short period of time. They come in with, I mean, the red flag should be when they're coming in with all kinds of bruises on their body, when they're coming in with STDs, where they're coming in, all that stuff. And we don't have to go into it. That is not normal for a child, right, warriors? That's your red flag. And you've got that short period of time to separate them if they came in with somebody that they're pretending is their boyfriend to talk to them, because most of them will deny it. They'll say, "No, no, I'm fine. That's just my boyfriend. I fell," something like that. Usually the technique used a lot is, okay, we have to go do a urine sample and take you. So they say to that person, "Okay, you have to wait here." And increasingly, we have women coming into the emergency rooms with kids. All I'll tell you about that, think of Ghislaine Maxwell. A lot of women are getting into this now, working for the pimps, the traffickers, kind of that big sister figure. And also with society, a woman with a girl looks a little different than the man with the girl. So we'll leave that for another program. But if kids are coming into emergency rooms and their first experience with sex is choking, how horrific for that girl, because that is something she will never forget. She will carry that with her for life, most likely, right? Then you've got the problem of the boy. The boy thinking this is a normal behavior. This is how you treat girls and women. It is all messed up, warriors. So it's up to us when we talk about teen dating, violence awareness month. Let us come together. Let us utilize the time. February is a busy month. We got a lot going on. These are issues that have to stick with you each and every day. If you have a teen, if you have a middle schooler, we have to start now in 5th, 6th grade with all of this. Because let me remind you again, when the new study came out, hardcore porn seen by 9-year-olds over 60%. This is a crisis. So I don't hear a lot of our elected officials talking about any of this, which is all the more reason we have to come together. We have to educate each other. We have to talk about the issues, hard facts. I know it's ugly and overwhelming. We got to do it because nobody's doing it. I shouldn't say nobody, because there are a lot of good people out there, the warriors. We work with a lot of great people. But remember, a lot of the great people you will never hear about. They work behind the scenes doing great, great work. They are true angels. They are true warriors. So remember that. I want to thank you for watching the video. Please support us. Go to lynswarriors.org. Please sign up for our weekly Warriors newsletter. It goes out every Wednesday. And if you didn't open it, it'll go out again on Friday. So you've got all these chances to get some education. And also remember, you've got the National Human Trafficking Hotline. That's not just if you, of course it is if you're in crisis, but it's also to call and just get information. That's 888-373-7888, 888-373-7888, because you can ask for local resources in your area, right? You can just ask them questions. You can ask them about reading materials. The website's chock full of information for you just to look at it, at your own speed. Humantraffickinghotline.org. We also have the terrific, since last July, 3-digit code 988. That is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, 988. Again, of course, if you're in crisis, there's always somebody there to talk to 24 hours a day, 365. But also, again, to ask for resources in your area as a parent, as a grandparent, as a caregiver. You know what? There's also a study that said by the age of 12, the kids have far surpassed the adults with tech. So we got a lot of work to do, and we got to stay on top of it. But the number one thing you can do that you don't need too much education about is communicate with your kids. Talk to your kids about these issues age appropriate. Let them know no matter what they do, you're there for them. Let them know they can tell you anything. Let them know they're not bad kids. Everybody's trading images online. So they did that. So now we're going to take care of it. What are we going to do? If you come across nude images or your child comes to you, do you know what to do, warriors? Cybertipline.org. Cybertipline.org, that is an arm of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They will take over the case and get on top of it and get these images taken down. They also have a new program they launched about 2.5 weeks ago called Take It Down. Again, you can anonymously report and they will help you get your nude images taken down. So you see, warriors, there are a lot of good people working on some good things, a lot of resources for you, but you got to know about them. And that's why you come to the warriors. Remember, community creates change. Protect our kids each and every day. Be a warrior.